joined by both Gainsborough Trinity women's manager Liam Mcnulty and assistant manager Tom Padden after today's 3-1 home win in the league over Anstey Nomads. How do you think the ladies got on today?
Yeah, game of two halves. I think first half we got the battle right but didn't have the quality. I think there were some tweaks made at half time, and you saw from the first minute they took on board that excellently, and we scored straight away from it, which was really nice to see. And I think we just controlled the game from there. I think first half it was a battle, second half we definitely won that battle.
Yeah, look, I think once we got our noses in front, it was a very different game. We scored one of the last kicks of the half, first half. I would say we probably didn't deserve to go in 1-0 up. I thought, credit to Anstey, they came with a certain game plan and they really stuck it to us. But from half time onwards, I think quality shone through a little bit. They're a good team. They fight really hard. They're fit. They cover the ground really well, and they do ask you questions. But I thought once we got our noses in front, especially that second goal, literally from the kickoff, I think there was only one team in it after that.
And obviously with today's game, would you say there was any sort of standout players from your point of view?
Yeah, look, if you'd asked me that at half time, I'd have said, no one. Second half, I thought you could call out most of them. However, Heather Pettit, outstanding today in centre mid, and then we dropped her into centre back, and outstanding. Definitely rolled back the years a little bit. She hasn't played there for quite some time, but she was very, very good. Obviously, Krell captain as well, real captain's performance second half. Thought she led by example. Krell isn't a screamer and shouter. She's okay, I'll set the standard and you lot better follow that. And I thought she did that exceptionally well second half. There was times where she sprinted 40 yards to just go and put a slide tackle in, and then got up and gone and sprinted again to do that again. So yeah, really, really, really pleased with those two in particular. But I thought as a group, second half we was very, very good. Anyone for you?
Yeah, Harriet, I think she was really unlucky not to start today. I think she put a great performance last week when she played, and we spotted a little tweak that needed tactically and changed the shape and put Harriet on and gave her a really strict job, and she performed it superbly. I think having players that are, no one wants to be a sub, but good subs that listen and want to come on and make an impact and want to prove that why they should be in the starting line, that's really good. She could have easily sulked and not done that role, but she didn't. She came on and performed it superbly. In fact, I think that's the best game she's had while I've been here.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. She was outstanding.
And obviously now that we're 2 games into the league season and two wins from 2, obviously, how do you feel like we're finding life at step 5?
That's a bit of it's a tough one. Like I say, 2 wins from 2, so undoubtedly we're doing okay. I thought last week was far, far better than this week. I think the pre-season we've had, even though it wasn't the most successful in terms of results, I think it's give us a really good footing to sort of attack this league. We've made no secret that we're not here to make the numbers up. We do have a genuine belief that we're good enough. Whether that's arrogant or not is, for people to make their own opinion. But we've also seen that in both games, if we're not at it, it could very easily be a long afternoon. At half time, if we'd come out and put that second half performance in that we had in the first half, then I've got no doubt that this conversation would be very, very different today. And that's the difference in levels with this league. I don't know what.
Yeah, last season we had realistically 2 teams that gave us games like that, and the rest is you kind of turning up and expecting to win because of the quality of the group. Whereas now the level is different. Every week we're going to be in a game, and I think we've seen from the results in the league so far, it's a league where anyone can take points off anyone. You look at this team, they played 3 games now. They had a tough first week and then picked up a point at a really hard place midweek, and say first half today, more than matches were better than us. And we've got such a young group, so we've got a group where today 4 teenagers playing, about 75% of the group are 21 and under, 4 probably really crucial players out injured or missing. So I think seeing that and seeing how we're matching these teams is really pleasing. I think what we as a group need to do now is start dominating games again. So last year we're probably having 65% of the ball every game. I'd say this year, the first 2 games we've had maybe 35-40. And what we're doing at the minute, we've made ourselves hard to beat and hard to break down and then pick up scraps off that. The next step now in our process and the next step in our journey is to then start dictating games like last year and then commanding games and not having to react, but being the team that are on the front foot, and that's our next step, and that's our job as a coaching team then to push us into that.
And how do you see us taking these last two performances into our FA Cup game against Oakley Town away next week?
It's no secret, the FA Cup is crucial to us. Like it or not, obviously, the money involved is always very nice. Do we believe we can go and get through a few rounds? Absolutely. I think this group's more than good enough. Having said that, we're not going to take Ilkley lightly. They got promotion last season. They won their league quite comfortably. The little bits we do know about them, they're a good side. Just because they're step 6, we're step 5, it's not a foregone conclusion by any stretch of the imagination. We need to turn up. We need to be at our best. Myself, Tom and Jacob have got some tough decisions to make over the next 24, 48 hours on what that starting lineup's going to look like. We're undoubtedly going to be upsetting some players because, especially after today, those who come on have probably put themselves in contention to have that starting role. So we need to be at the races. If we're not, it's a long way to go for a long afternoon of football.
Yeah, it's a different game, isn't it? I mean, FA Cup it makes or break a season, I guess, and we've got a chance to do well this year. Like I say, we've got a good squad. We know what a good Step 6 team can do because that was us last year, and we know that if we're not ready, last year if we played Step 5 teams and gave them a hell of a game, and we don't want to be under that, so we need to be switched on and sharp straight away. But I think as a group, we know that we're very capable, and we know the targets we've set out for them. It's a different game next week. Obviously, there's no roll-on, roll-offs, so you've got to be brutal. And I guess it's a different game for us as coaches, a different game for the players. But we've got a group that we've seen today can handle that, and we've got a group that know how to be successful, and more importantly, know how to win games. It'll be 4 or 5 of their first time playing in the FA Cup. It's the flagship tournament. It's a flagship competition that everyone wants to play in. And I expect to see the best versions of us next week, and that comes from us at the sideline and the players on the pitch. So I think, we're excited, we're looking forward to it, and we're looking forward to hopefully starting a successful cup run.
Cheers for your time today, lads.